Hello students of class 10th, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, let us continue with chapter 7, Necklace, written by Guy Maupassant. So dear students, as of now we have seen in this chapter, this is a very interesting story about a woman who was a poor woman, but she wanted to live a life of luxury. So writer also mentions that it was as if error of the destiny, so that is why she was poor, but she was not satisfied with her condition. She wanted to be rich, she wanted to get married to rich people, but as his parents could not afford much dowry, so that is why she had to get married with a small clerk in board of education. So as of now, our students, we have seen that one day her husband, Matilda's husband, madam, it is a French word, MME, okay, and it is pronounced madame, okay, madame, okay. So Madame Matilda's husband, once he got invitation card from a minister. He had been invited to a grand party of a minister, so he was very happy. When he reached home, he showed that invitation card to his husband, his wife, not husband, okay. So his wife, madame, we can also call it madam, as in English it is madam, in French it is madame, okay. So Madam Matilda, but when Matilda saw the card, she was not happy, because she told her husband that she had nothing to wear on the for the party, so that is why she was not happy. So let's continue. Before moving on, so I want you to write down these words and their meanings from page number 40. So you all please note them down. Spitefully, first word is spitefully. Spitefully means with jealousy, with jealousy. Stupefied, stupefied means shocked, okay. Next word, vexation. Vexation means irritation. Grieved, grieved means pained, okay. So I hope you all have written these words in your book. So dear students, let's begin reading and explanation. Page number 40 and third paragraph from here. She looked at him with an irritated eye, okay. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to a thing as that?" So she said, looking at her husband, she said, so with her irritated eye, she was not happy with the card, okay. She said, what do you think I would wear for the party? He had not thought of that. He stammered, "Why, the dress you wear when you go to the theatre." So the husband, he did not think that his wife would ask this question. So he started stammering and said, "Why, the dress you wear when you go to the theatre?" He said, "What's wrong in that dress which you wear for the theatre? You can wear for the same, you can wear the same dress for the party too. It seems very pretty to me." He was silent, stupefied in dismay. at the sight of his wife weeping. So when having said so, he became quiet, because when he saw his wife was weeping, she was crying, then he was shocked to see, the husband was shocked to see that Matilda was crying, Matilda was weeping. So he stammered. So once again, what is stammering? So if you cannot speak anything without any pause. Okay. So if one speaks, he or she takes a pause. Cannot cannot complete without taking pause. So that is stammering. It is called haklana in Hindi. Okay. So you are stammering. What is the matter? What is the matter? He said, what's the matter? What's the matter? Why are you weeping? By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks, nothing. So by a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation means irritation. I have written here also. She had controlled her irritation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. So she wiped her moist cheeks and she responded, nothing. Only I have no dress, and consequently I cannot go to this affair. She said, I don't have any dress, and because of that I cannot go to this party. Okay. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I. She said, give this card to any of your colleague whose wife is better fitted than I am. He was grieved. Now he was pained. Husband was pained when his Matilda said so. Then Matilda's husband pained. He was in pain because he did not expect such answer, such response from his wife Matilda. But answer, let's see Matilda. And he said, let's see what I can do in this matter for you. How can I arrange a dress for you? Let's see. How much would a suitable costume cost? So he asked Matilda, so what would be the cost of a suitable dress? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple. He said, costume which is simple, something which could be wore at special occasions. So what would be the cost of such costume, such dress? He asked Matilda. She reflected for some seconds, thinking a sum that she could ask for without bringing with it an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation for the economical clerk. So dear students, she reflected for some seconds. She thought for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without hesitation, without much hesitation. She thought of an amount which she could ask for without hesitation, and which a clerk could afford to give her. Finally, she said in a hesitating voice, So finally, in a hesitating voice, Matilda said, I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 4,000 francs ought to cover it. She said, I cannot tell you the exactly cost of the costume, but 400 francs are enough for the same. Okay, so she demanded 400 francs for her costume. He turned a little pale, for he had saved just this sum to buy a gun, that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. So dear students, now he turned a little pale, he turned a little sad. Okay, for because he had saved just this sum to buy a gun. He has saved this amount, 400 francs, to buy a gun, so that he could join some hunting parties in the next summer with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. Who went to shoot, larks are small singing bird. So his friends used to go to shoot. It was for them a game, a sport. They must be enjoying it. So that is why he was saving money to buy a gun, so that he could join in shooting the larks, shooting the birds. Nevertheless, he answered very well. Even though he answered very well, I will give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress. Even though he said, it's okay, no problem, I'll give you 400 francs, but try to buy a pretty dress. So dear students, let us write some words and some difficult words and their meanings from this passage before moving ahead. Okay, so from page number 41 I am going to write some words and some difficult words and their meanings, so you please note them down. I am going to rub it. I hope you must have noted it down. Page number 41. The first word is larks, which we have just discussed. L-A-R-K-S. Larks. Larks means small singing bird. Small singing bird. Next word is adorn. Adorn means to beautify. Adorn means to beautify. Next word is chic. Chic means fashionable. Chic means fashionable. Next word is ecstatic. It is ecstatic. E-C-S-T-A-T-I-C. Ecstatic means very delightful, very delightful anxiety, fear of uncertainty. Very delightful anxiety, fear of uncertainty, fear of uncertainty, certainty, yes, okay, certainty. Let me show you the last word. Yes, note them down. Larks means small singing bird. Adorn means to beautify. Chic means fashionable. And ecstatic means very delightful. Anxiety, fear of uncertainty. Okay, so I hope you have noted them down. Okay, if you haven't noted them down, you can pause the video and write them down. Okay, let us continue. Now, before moving ahead, let us go through these two questions. Before discussing these two questions, let us discuss answer to the questions which were asked in the beginning of the chapter. So open first page of this chapter. What kind of a person Madame Loisel, why she was unhappy? So Madame Loisel was a poor woman, but she wanted to be rich. She wanted to, the life which is full of luxury, a luxurious life. Okay, so why is she always unhappy? So because of, she wanted to live a luxurious life, but she was a poor lady. She could not afford to live the luxurious life. Okay, and she always, kept on thinking about the dinners of high rank and the lives of high rank. So it made her it made her unhappy, or it made her sad. Okay, what kind of a person is her husband? So her husband was a clerk in an office of board education, and he was very simple person. He was like, he was just opposite to Matilda, we can say. He was just opposite to Matilda. He was happy with his condition. Okay, so he was not thinking like Matilda was thinking to be rich, or he was not dreaming of to live life of to live a luxurious life like the people of high rank. How can we say that he was satisfied? Because during lunch he used to appreciate what was prepared by Matilda in the house, even though it was not the dinner of it was not during dinner, not lunch. So it was not dinner which the people of high rank they eat. Even though he was satisfied, he would admire. Okay, so this way we can say that he was a satisfied person. Okay, he was not he had no ambitions like Matilda. Okay, now let us go through these two questions, and answers to these questions we will try to find out in the coming paragraphs. What a fresh problem now disturbs Madame Loisel, and how is the problem solved? So what was the fresh problem after? Okay, Now her husband was ready to give her 400 francs for her dress. She was ready to give her 400 francs. Now, after his consent that he would give her 400 francs for to buy her new dress. So what was another problem arises? So we will come to know in the coming paragraphs. Okay, so let us begin. Page number 41. I hope you all must have opened your book and now ready to begin. So now, student, the day of the ball approached and Madame Loisel seemed sad, and Madame Loisel, she seemed sad. Now the day of ball means a party. Okay, ball means a dance party. This term is used for a dance party. So the day of the ball approached, the day of the ball arrived, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, disturbed, anxious. Okay, so now the day of the ball arrived, and even after receiving 400 francs for her dress, she was not happy. Still, she was disturbed, anxious. Nevertheless, her dress was nearly ready. Even though her dress was nearly ready now. Her husband said to her one evening, "What is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for 2 or 3 days." So her husband, extremely sorry for the same. Her husband said to her, "Now what's the matter? Now why are you, sad once again? What's the matter with you? You have been, behaving strangely since last, 1 or 2 days. So what's the matter now?" And she responded, "I'm vexed not to have a jewel, nothing to adorn myself with." She said, "I'm sad because I do not have any jewelry. I don't have any jewel, nothing to adorn myself with. I don't have anything I can beautify myself with. So I don't have any jewelry to beautify myself." Now earlier she had demanded for a beautiful dress. When she got 400 francs, when she received 400 francs from her husband, now she put another demand. It was of jewelry. "I shall have such a poverty-stricken look," she said. "I have such a poverty-stricken look. I'm looking like a poor person. I would prefer not to go to this party, and I don't want to go to the party with this dress." And she responded, next paragraph. He replied, "You can wear some natural flowers." So her husband replied that you can wear some natural flowers. In this season, they look very chic. So in this season, they look very fashionable. So her husband suggested that she should wear flowers. So they look very, because it was also the season of flowers, and they might look very fashionable in this season. She was not convinced, but she could not be convinced. She was not ready. to adorn herself with the flowers. No, she replied, there is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby air in the midst of rich women. So she said, it is the party of minister. So rich women will be coming there. So, nothing will be more humiliation than if I go there this way without wearing, without adorning with any jewelry. If I go there without wearing any jewelry, so it will be so insulting, so humiliating, because here women from high rank will be there. So because it is the party of a minister, so people from high rank would be coming there. So it would be very humiliating, she said. Yes. Then her husband cried out, how stupid we are. Then Matilda's husband cried out, how stupid we are. Go and find your friend Madame Forestier and ask her to lend you her jewels. So he said, you can go to Madame Forestier's and you can ask her for her jewelry. You can borrow her jewelry for one day, which you can wear for the ball, for the party. So her husband gave her a suggestion that she should go to Madame Forestier, her friend, and borrow her jewelry which she could wear for the party. She uttered a cry of joy. Now she also was happy. It's true, she said. I had not thought of that. She said, yes, it's true, it can be done. So this idea did not come to my mind. So really it's great, it can be done. She was happy now. The next day, she took herself to a friend's house and related her story of distress. So next day, she went one of her friend's house and told her, her condition, her story, how poor she was, and how she wanted to go a party and she was not having any jewelry. So all things she told her friend, Madame Forestier. Madame Forestier went to her closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it and said, choose my dear. So, Mrs. Forestier, Madame Forestier, or in French, Madame Forestier, she went to her closet and she brought out the jewelry box and told her that she could choose any one of them. She saw at some bracelets, then a collar of pearls, then a Venetian. Venetian means here a native citizen of Venice. Okay. Venetian cross of gold. Venetian means a native citizen of Venice. Okay. Then she saw bracelets, then collar of pearls, then Venetian cross of gold and jewels of admirable workmanship. So she found a lot of jewelry in that box. She tried the jewels before the glass, hesitated, but could neither decide to take them nor leave them. So she was, one by one she was trying those jewelries before glass, and she loved all the jewelry, so that she could never decide or nor she could deny. Yes. Then she asked, have you nothing more? She said, do you have more jewelries? Why? Yes. Look for yourself. She said, yes, you can look for yourself. I do not know what will please you. I do not know which type of jewelry you want. Suddenly she discovered in a black satin box a superb necklace. So suddenly, she saw in a black satin box, it was a superb necklace of diamonds. Her hands trembled as she took it out. So Matilda's her hand was trembling, shaking when she was, when she was taking that necklace out. She placed it about her throat against the dress and was ecstatic. And she put on that necklace, and it was really very delightful. It was very beautiful. Then she asked in a hesitating voice, full of anxiety. Now, in a hesitating voice, full of anxiety, she said, could you lend me this? Only this. Why, yes, certainly. So she said, she asked Madame Forestier if she could borrow her, that particular necklace which she had tried and which she had liked. And then Mrs. Forestier, Madame Forestier or Madame Forestier in French, Madame Forestier, and in English, Madame Forestier. Madame Forestier, she said, yes, why not? Certainly, you can take it. So the students, she borrowed a necklace from her friend. Okay, so it's all about today's video. In the next video, we will see what happened when she, adorned herself with that necklace and go to the party. Then what happened? It is really interesting. It changed course of her life. You will get to know. So how it would happen and what it would happen. Okay, so it's all about today's video. So thank you and see you tomorrow.